Okay, family, Lord Eric Steele, Big Rossi Love, coming back to you again with another episode on our channel, FBA All Day. Okay, so glad to be sharing with you guys. My questions have been pouring in again as usual, and I took a little bit of offense to this one question, and it's something that keeps being said over and over again. Again, FBA, foundational Black Americans. That is not a hate term. That's not a hate term at all. Foundational Black American. It's just a description. It's just a description. Our foundational brother Tariq Nasheed explains it so eloquently. It's just our lineage. It's not a group. We're not a hate group. We don't hate anybody. All we're doing is defining who we are, defining our lineage, and we're just standing on business. We're not allowing anyone else to come amongst us with the nonsense. Okay, we're tired of being addressed and stereotyped, and these things have to be addressed. Okay, there's too much ambiguity going on around here. Okay, there's too much nonsense, and we're just trying to clean it up. We're just cleaning it up is all we're doing. Okay. Now I had a email come in, and it boiled down to this. It says, "Why does FBA hate everyone?" One of my brothers from the African diaspora asked this question, and it kind of struck me a little bit because we've been explaining this for years now. We've been explaining this, but I'll go into it, and I'm gonna go into something a little bit deeper, something that you may or may not know about. Well, let me dig into it, okay? Foundational Black Americans, one of the reasons why we chose to kind of put some space between us and the nonsense is because of this. When we see other groups achieving accomplishments, you'll notice that right away they'll put their little country flag up. Oh, she must be from, Guyana, or she must be from Jamaica. Jamaica's doing big things. They don't say black people doing big things. That's not what they say. They don't say, oh, they're a member of the black nation. They don't say, oh, they're a member of the black community. They put their specific names on it. Okay? And I don't have a problem with that. Okay? But then when their people start doing weird ideas, committing crimes, the dominant society does not do that. They don't go, oh, this person is from Trinidad, or this person's from Jamaica. They go, that black person, it's a black person, or a black American. You see what I'm saying? So even though we don't get none of the accolades when they accomplish things, we have to try to absorb, or we don't have to try, their nonsense is plastered upon us. You see what I'm saying? These things have got to stop. We have to put a stop between this. If we're not going to share in the accolades, we don't want your garbage either. Don't keep your accolades, and by the same token, keep your nonsense. Take all that. You understand what I'm saying? Keep all that. Let me break it down a little further. Okay, so they say, why do you guys want to delineate? Why are you guys so divisive? Why are you guys causing tension amongst the black community? And that's a good question. That is a good question. Why does foundational Black Americans want to be separate from everyone else? Do we? Do we? That's my question. Do we want to be separate? Because Jesse Jackson, he said there's a black and brown coalition. Is there? So when Jesse Jackson, who by all means and purposes is a foundational Black American, when he came up with the Rainbow Coalition, he was trying to include everybody. He wanted to include everybody, black and brown, he wanted to include everybody. But do you know what was already in existence before he even came up with that Rainbow Coalition? There is a group called Lilac or LULAC. LULAC, I apologize. LULAC. That stands for the League of United Latin American Citizens. Got it? League of United Latin American Citizens. It didn't say Latin and black. It didn't say brown, black and brown. That's not what it says. The organization is called League of United Latin American Citizens. LULAC. Look it up. Is that divisive? When they had their organization, which is, that's not a new organization. That organization was formed in like 1930, 1929, 1930. So they've been calling themselves that. They pulled away from black people a long time ago. Even after Jesse Jackson tried to include them. They'll take the inclusion. Oh, sure. When it's black and brown, when black and brown is getting money, they'll be humble and quiet and accept it. But when LULAC receives her donations, when LULAC receives her compensation and LULAC receives her come-ups or resources, they don't share that with us. Find a paycheck from LULAC that came to black Americans. Find it. You won't find it. We're not included in that. Not only that, but it's been a focus of some of their leaders is to whiten up their race. They don't even want to be Latin. They want to be white. I'll cover that on another show because I don't want to get too far off a track, okay? We will cover that, but I do have the receipts. I have the receipts for that. They literally want to whiten themselves up. They don't even want to be brown. They want to be white. Okay? So Jesse Jackson talking about black and brown, that's nonsense. There is no black and brown. Now don't get me wrong. We do have a kindred spirit with members of the Latino community. I myself have a lot of Latinos in my family. My Uncle Chico's Panamanian. Okay? I got cousins that's mixed with. You know what I'm saying? We have a kindred spirit, but we can't let that sidetrack the movement. That can't sidetrack and that can't take the place of who we are. We have to be specific and we have to say who we are, okay? Members that join my family, I love them. They in my family, okay? But when it comes time to our FBA business, they have to be quiet. Okay, just fall back and let those of us who are in this position take care of this business, all right? You can fight alongside us. We won't say, you can't help us, but we stand on business. Foundational Black Americans stand on business, okay? So that's your LULAC. That's the end of, forget about black and brown. Now, I'm not saying that the brown, that our brown brethren are in any way disloyal or mean us any harm or that we mean any harm to them. It is what it is. They formed their group. We didn't have any say in that. They didn't ask us, hey, black people, do you guys care if we form our own organization? They didn't say that to us. Okay? They didn't run it by us, so we don't have to run anything by them. But let's just call it what it is. There is no black and brown coalition. Just dead that. Okay? And you say, wow, that's you feel some kind of way because we've been hearing that our whole life. But then you have to grow up. You have to be a man. Okay? When they fail to check their individuals that harm us, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. They failed to check these people. Nobody said a word when Trayvon Martin was killed. I didn't hear LULAC didn't put out no statements. We denounced George Zimmerman. No statements from them. No, don't count him among us. Our community looks down upon him. I didn't hear none of that. I don't hear that from them. They still don't. Okay? We always come to the rescue. Foundation Black Americans have always fought to help the underprivileged. We've always done that. We've done the most with the least for too long, and that day is done. It's time for tangible reparations for our people. Okay? Now I just addressed the Latinos. And you say, okay, well, there's no black and brown coalition. Well, the person that sent me this message, he was from the African diaspora. Okay, I'm not even gonna point out his nation, but he's from Africa, and I understand they don't, English is not his first language, so they get a little confused. But let me ask you a question. Since calling ourselves Foundational Black American, which is just pointing out our lineage, if that's hateful, can you explain to me what is the AU? What is the AU? If we can't express and try to help our individual group, what is the AU? The AU is the African Union. Okay? Not black American, not black African American, not black American, not African American. It's the African Union. Okay? It's a continental organization that aims to provide unity, peace, economic development in Africa. Not all around the world, not all the black people everywhere, because there's black people in Britain, there's black people in Ireland, there's black people in Australia. They're not concerned with those individuals. The AU receives tons of donations, and their focus is not black people in America. It's not black people anywhere but Africa. So for us to speak for our lineage is divisive, but for them to do it, you see what I'm saying? We're not trying to be special. Don't give us your special treatment. Okay? We're not better than anybody else. Well, actually we are, but we don't consider ourselves to look down on anybody else. That's not what we propose to do. But you're not going to treat us any different. We're not going to be treated differently. We're about justice, okay? It's time for justice. Foundational Black Americans are due. It's time for us to receive our justice. All this other stuff is just fog. They're just trying to fog up the air so you can't see clearly. Allow me to clear it. Allow me to clear it. I'll help. Okay? If you get rid of the AU, and you guys have a continent. Africa is a huge continent. Do you think these people would get together and be like, okay, American brothers and sisters, you can come over here. We'll give you a plot of land. You guys can, get yourselves together or come up. No, they've never done. There's no place in Africa where we've been invited without red tape. In order for us to go over there, we have to have a lot of money, okay? There's a whole bunch of payoffs that have to be made to get there. And then they can just willy-nilly take whatever you put there anyway. No, we're not fleeing. This is our land. We were here. We built this country. We are here. We are foundational Black Americans, and we are different. Simple. There's your Africans. Okay? There's your Africans. But I'm not done. So if it's divisive for us to be called foundational Black Americans, can somebody explain? Since it's so divisive for us to want to bring our people together and do what's best for our people here, for us to get ourselves together, it's divisive for us to say we're foundational Black Americans. Well, then can somebody explain to me what CARICOM is? CARICOM. 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 It stands for the Caribbean Community and Common Market. It's a group of 20 developing countries in the Caribbean that have come together to form an economic and political community that works together to shape policies for their region and encourages economic growth and trade amongst the Caribbean people. Not foundational Black Americans, not black Americans, not Afro-Americans. No, that's not what it says. It says Caribbean community. I don't fall by the wayside. That's not an ambiguous term. Listen, let me be specific so you guys know what I'm talking about. Before you come on here talking nonsense and calling us a hate group, let's see what countries are in CARICOM. Let's see what countries participate in CARICOM. That's all for the growth and development of the Caribbean. Let's see what countries those are and see if these aren't the people calling us hateful. Let's see. Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Curaçao, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Come on. These are the same people that come on and email me or go on Tariq Nasheed's page and talk crap or call in and say we're hating them or we're trying to stop them from something. It's nonsense. Okay? And again, don't get me wrong. Here on FBA All Day, we don't teach hate. I'm not hating anybody. Okay? What we're after is justice. What we're after is justice. Okay? What we're after is justice. I have so much family and friends that's from the Caribbean. I have so many family and friends. I have a friend of mine, her mother is Jamaican. I love her like she's my own mother sometimes. She looks after me. They feed me. And I love them right back. I do what I can for them. We're there for each other. We have a very cohesive unit as a family. They are a part of my family, my extended family. That I can go to their house, they can come to my house. We're a unit. There's no hate there. But we have to have this addressed. And it really makes no sense why in 2025, grown people, adults, cannot see the necessity of us getting what's owed to us. As hard as we fought to get people here, as hard as we fought to be considered, then for people to come here and let their children grow up thinking that somehow we're the enemy. That's just okay. Come on, people. I know the talk. The talk has been discussed so many times. When you come over here, don't hang out with the black people. Those American black people are gangsters. American black people are trouble. That's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's a stereotype. It's a stereotype, and it's time for it to be debunked. Okay? It's time for it to be debunked. It's time for us to move forward amicably. Either you can join us and push us towards our goal. You can join, and nobody's saying you guys can't, push too. You can push too. You can get behind us and push too. Let's make sure these people get what they deserve. We got you over here. If it was not for us, there would not be any other black groups coming here. There would be no Haitians. There would be no Jamaicans, no Dominicans. None of that would be allowed over here if it wasn't for foundational black Americans fighting. We fought to get you guys over here. And in return, what we get is vitriol. The time is up. The time is up for nonsense, okay? Let's move forward amicably. If you don't want to be a part of us pushing for our reparations, pushing for our tangibles, our resources that are due us, we're not asking for a handout. This is something that's due. You understand? This is something that's due. If you don't want to participate and push us, help us achieve our goals so that we can receive what's owed to us, then just don't get in the way. That's all I ask. Don't get in the way. Because if you found out that you're in the way, we will shine the light on you. We will bring you to the forefront and definitely shine the light on you. I'm going to, that's for sure. For our young brothers and sisters coming up, man, listen, I'm not above reproach. If I say anything that's wrong or anything that you find is incorrect, please let me know. You can address me. I'm not above reproach. I am more than willing to dialogue with anyone, obviously. I got tons of people that I deal with. Okay? Blessings. FBA family, let's go get it. Tangibles. That's all we asking for. We asking for our due. Tangibles. We don't want hugs. We don't need barbecues. Keep your barbecues, okay? Every time it's time for somebody else to get something, they think they can throw a party. And foundational Black Americans, we just gonna go, oh, we gonna dance and party and give you what you want. Those days are done. I don't care if you can dance. That doesn't help my people at all. You dancing means nothing. You giving away food, that means nothing. Give us our resources, give us our tangibles, and we will take care of it. We'll party after we get our reparations. We'll party after we receive our tangibles, okay? We'll barbecue when it's time. It's not time now. It's not time now. You ever seen a football player running for the touchdown and throw the ball down before he crosses the line? That day is done. Okay? That day is done. We're not doing it anymore. We're not partying. We're not voting for anybody until our needs are addressed. Until you guys stop deliberately neglecting us, pretending we don't exist, ignoring us. We're just not going to participate. You can't change who we are. We're not a hate group. It's a lineage. There's no leader. We have people who lead by example, but there's no leaders. I will lead. I will speak out in the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat, I will speak out, but I'm not the leader. Have been blessed with these knowledge. I hope that I've given you guys some clarity on these things. If you have any questions, you can drop them off at aboutblackbusiness@myyahoo.com. You can email me there and we can get into it. I'll try to bring as many questions as I can to light, and I'll try to shed a lot of light and understanding on these matters. Again, it's your brother, Lord Eric Steele, aka Big Rossi Love. Sending everybody in the family love, man. It's all love. There's no hate here, all right? Peace.